Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 24th episode of the Trainers Lounge, the show where we talk about anything and everything about L&D. And today's topic is all about onboarding. And joining us today is one of my colleagues, and I'm sure she has a lot of things to share about her experience with onboarding. Now, before we move on, we are inviting everyone to join us for the April session of CLDP. That's the Certified Learning and Development Professional Certification Program on April 29 and 30. We still have slots open and also discount rates are still up for grabs. Well, before we move forward, us let us get to know our guest for today. She is a registered psychometrician and has been a program manager for CRSP for the couple of months now, and she has a total of 3 years of experience in the L&D industry. She also holds the CPHR and the CLDP certification and also the CRSP certification itself. She is a mental health advocate and has experiences in different companies and jobs, including mapping out training plans for various clients in the Philippines, developing self paced courses and trainings to foster learning and development despite the pandemic. She is also responsible in preparing and executing company activities that is aligned with employers and employees branding, such as but not limited to company annual parties and activity, team building, VMV cascading, annual Christmas party, and etc. She was also responsible in preparing employee engagement activities and developing innovative and effective strategies to increase engagement among employees. She also supports in creating and implementing rewards and recognitions of or other programs. Without further ado, let's welcome Ms. Rosette Esmeralda Musni. There you go.
Hi,
Hello, hello.
Kevin. Hi, Kevin. How
Good
are you?
afternoon. Yeah, May. So we can call our guest for today May as well. Yeah, but medyo mahaba nga naman yung Rosette
Haba kasi, oh.
Esmeralda. Well, how are you doing? How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm very excited for today's topic. I've been doing L&D for 3 years and onboarding is a part of it. I've been doing onboarding for months, every month. No? So what really is onboarding? And I'm very excited to talk about that today.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Well, for our audience's information, we are actually colleague. We both are managers for two programs. Well, me for CLDP and May for CRSP. Later, we'll get to know more about CRSP. Yeah, but yeah, we tried to develop this episode because I think onboarding is one of the things or topics that we haven't yet touched here at the trainers lounge, and I was actually going around thinking, what topic can we do? And then May actually said out that, oh, we can do onboarding because I think you haven't talked about it yet. She is a supporter of the show, and malay mo magkaroon din siya a show of her own in the future. But let's see what the future holds. Well, let us get to know our trainer first. History with L&D. Well, at first, syempre, let's talk about how you got started with L&D.
Okay, so I graduated a Bachelor of Science in Psychology, and I took the board exam, and fortunately, I passed on the first day. And then initially, I really wanted to be in the academe. No, that's the initial plan
Mhm.
that I wanted for myself. So I tried on several institutions. I got no, I was hired. No, I got job offers for different organizations except for the schools that I applied for. So, nung una, Kevin, napafrustrate na ako. Sabi ko, gusto ko talaga maging teacher, gusto ko, or mag-guidance.
Ah,
I really wanted to be in the academe talaga. Gusto ko, kasi for everyone's information, kapag nag-psychology ka, you have three options. You can be in the clinical setting, industrial setting, or the academe talaga. And yun, my initial plan was to be in the academe. I really wanted to teach, no? But unfortunately, hindi talaga lumalapit sa akin yung opportunity when it comes to the academe. No? Buti ka pa, I know you're a teacher yourself. So, ewan ko ba, hindi lumalapit sa akin, Kevin. And then, when I applied for this company, it's a hotel in Clark, no, I applied for HR. O sige na nga, sabi ko, mag-apply na ako as HR. O sige,
Mm-hmm.
ayan. And I applied for HR, and then I was surprised to know that when I was being interviewed already, they told me that it's for training, a training position. So, sabi
Mm.
ko, and then that's when I realized, okay, siguro hindi ako for pedagogy, no? Tama ba yung term ko?
Uh-huh.
Ayan. So for teaching pala ako ng adults. So it's training. So that's how basically how I got into training. No, I know that a lot of L&D professionals are L&D by accident. No, siguro I'd like to call myself that also, but I believe I'm destined to be an L&D instead of being L&D by accident.
That's actually quite well. That's actually quite funny kasi hindi mo alam. Well, at first it was
Mm-mm.
a general HR role sana.
Yes, yes, I
Ah. Well, oh, we wouldn't call that by accident, but rather by
mm-mm.
destiny, by fate. Wow.
Diba? Oo, parang it's
So
by
bago,
destiny. Oo.
bagong term yun. L&D by destiny, hindi by
Yes.
accident. Well, okay.
Mm-mm.
Well, since you've had some experiences na no, with working with other companies as well in that position, let's start with some of the challenges that you've had. What do you think was like not toughest or not the saddest, but rather siguro yun, no? Let's put out there the most challenging experience that you've had.
Mhm. Siguro in L&D kasi it's very different from other facets of HR. I wouldn't say na L&D is very technical or that, no. Siguro ano lang ang L&D, hindi siya yung job na very routine, I would say. No, unlike
Mm-hmm.
with the payroll, no, you do that every month. Same
Mm-hmm.
process. For compensation and benefits, SSS, PhilHealth, you do that the same way every month. But for L&D, it's always different. You're given a different topic, you're given the different thing to discuss, no? And then there's organizational development, there's so many things. So I think that's the first challenge that I had before, no, yung talagang
Mm-hmm.
paiba-iba yung kailangan mong gawin. And sometimes there's that overwhelming feeling that that it comes with that, I haven't fully grasped of this yet, and then there's another thing that you have to go through na agad. And then siguro the second challenge, no, is yung transitioning to the work from home setup. It's still different,
Ah.
Kevin. It's still different when you train, no, na face to face to transitioning to creating self-paced, no. Of course, you're not hearing everyone. Minsan you wanted to hear feedback, but some are shy to unmute. Unlike in person,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see their
No
non-verbal.
choice.
Yun talaga. And siguro lastly, challenges yung training hours. Kasi minsan, um, I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but for other companies, they do, and what they do in their KPI is add specific hours that the employees have to reach, no. So
Mm-hmm.
minsan they attend the training for compliance, no, for their KPI, for the sake na mag-earn sila ng extra hours, ganyan. Siguro those are the challenges talaga that I faced before.
I see. Well, now let's go to the positive note of it, no? What are the most satisfying ayan? So siguro most parang fulfilling experience that you had with L&D.
Ako, right at the top of my mind right now, I can't think of any specific one, but I feel
Mhm.
like every single time, no, a training concludes every single time, no. I know you've experienced that also, Kevin.
Ah,
Like when you finish a training, when you see the feedback already, no, and then makikita mo yung engagement ng mga tao during the training. Siguro that's one talaga. No, there's so much fulfillment nga, sabi ko, there's so much fulfillment in training. Like every single time na makikita mo that people are engaging, that you've prepared long enough for this day, for this training, and then you'll see these people engaging, hearing you out, interacting with everyone. So that's that. I know you can relate to me as well.
yes, definitely. Iba yung feeling na, okay, natapos
Mhm.
na siya. But
True.
not just
Mm-mm.
because, natapos na siya, but rather,
Oo.
you know that at least, no, kahit hindi lahat ng participants mo ng learners mo, but some part of them will change or will be
Mm.
affected,
That's
hopefully
true.
for the better.
You
Ay,
imparted
yun naman
something.
lagi yung target for the better. There
Yan.
will
Kaya gusto
always
ko
be
talaga
change for the
magturo
better.
before. Oo.
Ayun, no. Malay mo in the future, di ba? Let's see. Well, thank you so much for sharing your personal experience in L&D. Now, let's go to our topic today. We are going to talk about onboarding. So tinawag nating onboarding 101. A look into an L&D's role in the company's onboarding. Well, before we go to the specifics, let's discuss first on a general overview. What is onboarding and what does it mean for a company?
Okay, so siguro employee onboarding, Kevin, it is the first step, no? Kumbaga in making an employee feel na parang you are a full-fledged employee in our company, no?
Mhm.
Yun yung in a nutshell, no? That's how I'd like to call it. No? It's parang making the employee a full-fledged employee of the company. It is different for every organization, no? For some, baka 2 days lang siya. But for some organizations, actually, it can span up to 12 months, no? So onboarding, meron din tayong notion for some na onboarding is orientation. But it's not. It's a completely different orientation. Is just part of onboarding, no? And then you ask for the parang ano bang importance nito to company's development, no? Employee and onboarding is crucial to an organization for several reasons, no? One, alam naman natin na first impression last, no? So,
Uh-huh.
di ba? First impression last, di ba? Kung first date mo yan, di ba? How you would see them on the first date would really matter. So, it's necessary for an organization to make an employee process na talagang kailangan mas streamline because this will help an employee, di ba? Kumbaga, it will make or break the employee, eh. No, kasi a negative impression, no, can leave an employee, di ba? It can make them quit early because of an employee
Uh-huh.
onboarding, no? And syempre, it will give them like perceptions, it will give them prejudiced notions about the organization if not done correctly. And also, I just like to add, no, when people think of onboarding, sometimes they think of HR. It's an HR thing, or employee handbook, or compliance, yung mga ganyan, no? Or vision, mission, mga ganyan. But really, onboarding is actually more than that. Onboarding should be an experience. No? It should be a journey for the new hire. It's not just compliance. It's not just, as I said, employee handbook things and all that. It's just not just filling out the employee information sheet. It's not just that, no. So it should be a journey for the new hire, and it's not just a 2-day program that they have to attend.
Ayun. Yeah. But I think some misconceptions also arises with onboarding. Kasi, well, I'm not gonna name names, but I've had experiences before when I was younger, no,
Mhm.
going into jobs.
Is that
Na
15
parang
years ago?
ay yeah. Wag naman, walang
Just kidding.
lantaran. But ano tawag dito? I remember back then, parang the concept of onboarding for me wasn't really there kasi ang naalala ko lang is I'll
Mhm.
go to the office, I'll sign the contract, and they'll tell me, "Oh, you'll start on this date," and that's it. I was working on the floor. I was on the floor already. Parang ganun. Then
Mhm.
I learned about onboarding when I finished my degree and
Mhm.
started applying for jobs that are
Mhm.
medyo yun na up there.
Mas formal na.
And then doon ko na-realize na, okay, so they had to, hindi naman siya seminar, but rather they had to show me
Mhm.
things about the company
Mhm.
first,
Mhm.
their culture, things
Mhm.
like that. I've also had experience once na dahil hindi siya Philippine company, they had
Mhm.
me watch several movies regarding the
Mhm.
country itself para at least I'd have a
Mhm.
better grasp of who the
The
clients are,
culture of the
parang ganon.
company.
The
Mhm.
culture. Not just the company, but who the
Of the
clients are, parang
the
ganon.
place. Oo. Mhm.
Yeah,
Understand.
so and then okay, so this is what onboarding is all about. I thought kasi yung first experience ko nga naman with jobs is pasok ka, pirma ka ng contract, and then that's it.
Oo.
So yeah.
Oo.
Well, moving forward naman with onboarding kasi, yun nga, there are still misconceptions about it. But
Yes. Yes.
is there a certain thing that you have to follow ba? Is it by the
Mhm.
law? Is it
Mhm.
what do you call those? What's the right term? Mandated by law, or
Mhm.
what is it?
Actually, Kevin, onboarding does not start on your day one. No, it's
Okay.
a misconception for non-L&D professionals that they feel like onboarding starts on the day one. Onboarding starts after you sign the job offer. So after that, no, for some companies, they even do yung it's different. As I said, it's different for every organization. But we have what we call the pre-boarding. So for the pre-boarding,
Pre-boarding.
this is before the day one. So pre-boarding, no, ito yung nagko-contact na. Minsan kasi si recruiter ang part na to minsan si recruiter pa ang gumagawa nito. They give them the first day details like, this is the location of our company, this is the time that you'll be arriving, and then dadala ka ba ng baon, or may libreng lunch, or meron kaming pa-orderan dito ng lunch, mga ganyan. And meron tayong canteen, mga ganyan, no? So usually, the recruiter does that. And ako talaga, for me, it's crucial, no? It's still crucial kahit yung pre-boarding. Kasi even if the employee signed the job offer, it's not, you're not gonna be sure if he or she will come on the day one itself. So, crucial na dapat alagaan mo pa rin yung employee, yung new hire, dun sa day before the day one, no? So, of course, you have to be ready also dun sa pre-boarding that the company, sometimes they do welcome posters or emails. Say, for example, ako na na-experience doing mga welcome to the team, welcome to the company, or mga email or poster, ganyan. Tapos may picture ng new hire, diba? Para naman, pagdating yung new hire, may mga kilala na rin sa kanya, siya yung bago, siya yung new hire for the organization. And then for some, and then for IT also, no, for ibang organization, ito na rin yung time that pre-boarding, it consists of contacting your IT, no, o may company phone to, ito yung mga gadgets na kailangan niya. And then, for some organization, Kevin, we have what we call the buddy system.
Buddy system.
Yan, buddy system. Ayan, kumbaga ito yung, meron ka, kunwari ikaw, Kevin, you're a new hire, and then I'll be giving you a buddy. Kunwari, ang buddy mo is ako. I will be the one to assist you. Kunwari, may tanong ka, kunwari, meron kang gustong question, ganyan, I'll be, parang ganun siya. So, sometimes it's not just a recruiter. Minsan, person na siya from your department that will already
like
assist
team.
on onboarding. Parang ganun. Minsan, team member mo na siya. And then, after the pre-boarding stage, ito na yung first day, no? So, usually, first day, ang ginagawa is before the actual training, minsan si employee meron siya, or si recruiter muna. Si recruiter dito na yung binibigay yung ID, ganyan, no? Ako talaga, I feel strongly na kailangan mas streamline talaga yung process kasi minsan, no, I've had this experience before na minsan it will take 3 months bago ako magka-ID, mga ganyan, or it will take a few months bago tas i-follow up sa akin yung mga other documents that I need, no? So minsan, dapat sa first day, on the first few hours, ganyan, the recruiter will assist for, for example, for the filling out of personal information sheet, mga pang 201 files, yung mga ganon. And then after that, yun na yung time na nagta-transition si recruiter to training na pino-forward na sa atin yung responsibility. So, syempre sa formal training, dito na yung letting know of the culture, no? Ano nga ba yung culture? Ano nga ba yung culture ng company? Pero minsan, parang feeling ko kasi ang culture, minsan ginagawang fly-by-word na lang. Mga ganyan. You have to acquaint you to the culture of your company, ganyan. Pero ano ba yung culture nyo? So, ang culture kasi, usually, it's a group. It's a group habit, no? Kumbaga personal habit mo, personal habit ng colleague mo. And then when you aggregate all of that, it becomes a culture of the company. So, dito na nag-start yung formal training. So, formal training, this is where you acquaint the employees with, the usuals, the vision, mission, values, the culture. And of course, minsan, we tend to info overload our new hires, but what's important naman talaga is kailan yung payroll, ano yung cut-off, yung mga yan, no? Minsan kasi we focus too much on letting them know the company values and all that, but we tend to forget na ang number one na priority ng new hire is kailan ba ako magsasahod, 'di ba? Meron ba kaming free lunch, saan yung banyo, may bidet ba? Yung mga ganyan, diba? These are crucial questions. May bidet ba? Mga
bidet
ganyan.
ba?
And then, of course, the org chart. No? Dito din ini-introduce yung org chart, organizational chart ng kumpanya. Siyempre, they want to know who they will be working with, ganyan. And also, I forgot to mention a while ago with pre-boarding, no? Ako kasi before with what I do with my previous organization, instead of just doing the onboarding as a 2-day program, we do it as a long program talaga. So before pa sa pre-boarding, we prepared together with my training manager before. We prepared a long onboarding. It's not really long naman, pero we want them to visit every because I've been in the hospitality industry before. So what we do is the new hire will visit every
Department.
department. Kunwari, si housekeeping, ganyan. And there's
Mhm.
one person in that department that will let this employee know, this is our department, ganyan. Tapos ito yung mga, syempre minsan si procurement or si logistics, merong relationship dun sa magiging work ng employee. So parang mga ganon. So ang onboarding ko, it does not stop with the formal training or dun sa but pre-boarding pa, we prepare that and we let these people know na may darating kaming employee and then meron siyang specific date and time na pupunta sa'yo. You have to let them know kung ano yung mga transactions nyo, di ba? Because that's important And then, ayan, so going back, so pre-boarding, the formal training, and the foundation building. The next yun nga, yung after the onboarding. So after the onboarding, as I said, we do that. We have to onboard not only during the 2-day or the first day of the employee, but of course, even after that, they have to be onboarded for every department. Ako, I really suggest that kasi syempre, mahirap yung darating ka sa isang company, sabi mo nga kanina, you've had experience na first day ka lang, out, yung gano'n, diba? So you have to know din syempre kung ano yung transaction mo per department. So we also do that as part of our onboarding. And ang minsan din na nakakalimutan is the feedback. Minsan mag-feedback tayo dapat sa ating new hire, like you have to ask them, how was your 3-month stay? How was your 6-month stay? Diba? What are your feedback? What are the things that you think we can further improve? Mga ganyan. So I think onboarding process does not stop in the 2-day program. It should be minsan even 18 months. We have to go back to these people para alam natin what else we can do for them. Ayan. So basically that's it for the whole onboarding process.
All right. Well, I think this is quite an intensive onboarding process that you mentioned. But will this be a typical onboarding process as well, or it can change depending on the company?
Ayun, as I said kanina, it's really different for every organization. But personally, I believe that the onboarding process, as I said a while ago, it shouldn't be an HR thing alone. It shouldn't be an HR responsibility alone. It should be collaborative among all departments because these employees, even for example, you're from sales, definitely you have a transaction with your finance team, with your logistics team, diba? Say for example, you are for us, we are in the training team. We have interactions with our finance team, yung mga ganyan. So you have to help the employee when they get to on board with us. Dapat they know what transactions will they be having with every department. And for a typical the new employee orientation, kasi meron tayong tinatawag na NEO. Ayan, usually it's for employees, it's a 1-day or a 2-day training, formal training for the employee to attend.
Okay, I see. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. But now let's go into strategies in developing. I guess, for example, someone saw this episode and okay, parang sa amin hindi pa ganun kapulido yung onboarding namin. Well, would you be kindly to share some strategies and developing and also creating na rin siguro a good onboarding program for a company? Like if you were given the task na, okay, May, let's revamp our onboarding process. What are the strategies that you will look into?
Ayan, siguro yun nga, as I said kanina, you have to start onboarding before the first day. You have to be prepared, you have to collaborate with different department heads, kumbaga, yun nga, as I said, prepare, let them know that you have this department will give them time, specific time. Okay, at this time, this new hire will go to your department. Let them know what transactions you have with them. Let them know kung ano ba yung mga process, kung ano yung purpose ng department nyo. And then, so that's one. So start onboarding before the first day. Then, as I said, it should be a collaboration. It should be a collaboration between, minsan dapat sa HR team pa lang, collaborative na, alam niyo yung process, job offer, okay, kay CompBen yan. And then next, kay recruiter, ready na ba? You have to check with your recruiter, ready na ba? Na-ready mo na ba yung ID? Na-ready mo na ba
Starter kit.
yung nameplate niya, yung mga ganyan, You have to check with all these people if they're ready for the first day of this person. And then yun nga, the welcome poster, ano ba, ready na ba yan? And then check with your tech team, ready na ba yung gamit niya? Ready na ba yung place to stay? Mga yan. So make sure that the pre-boarding is ready, all the pre-boarding requirements are ready. The next, it may sound different, but it should be emotional rather than rational. No, you have to keep the process human. No, it should be emotional rather than rational. When I say this, what I mean is that kasi nga ang onboarding process can make or break the employee. No, they have to understand kung ano ba. Did I make the right decision of joining this organization? Mm-hmm. Or is this a mistake? Yung mga ganyan. So we have to let them know that this is our culture. Check if our culture matches with yours. No? Check if the decision you made to join our organization is correct. No? Syempre, I understand that we want this employee to stay. But if your values don't really align, they have to know. Diba? So yon, it should be emotional rather than rational. Dapat hindi lang siya about filling out forms. It's not just about kailangan masend yung feedback at this point in time. You really have to maintain that human in you when you ask them for feedback o kamusta ka. You really have to let them know. Kapag nag-ask ka na kung kamusta sila, you really have to put the emotion in there, not just for the sake na meron kang, alam mo yun, minsan exit interview. I-exit interview mo employee for the sake na ma-complete mo yung exit interview niya. Same as to doing the onboarding process. You want to really understand kung kamusta siya, how was the whole experience for him, is it too overwhelming, the job load, mga ganyan, no? Yes, I know it may be to some, but it really is part of the onboarding process. Then I know that I said a lot, but it shouldn't be too complex. At the end of the day, it shouldn't be too complex and it should be sustainable. Baka mamaya ang dami mong pinlano. Baka ang dami mong pinlano, hindi mo naman mapanindigan, diba? Kaya ako talaga before, I really set standard and I really streamline the process. Kung kailangan mong gumawa ng SOP, ng standard operating procedures for that, make one. Para hindi mo ma-miss out yung mga necessary steps for the employees, no? Kasi ako I've experienced talaga in the past, no, when I do onboarding. I really create a relationship with the employee. Kaya nga minsan feeling ko ang favorite sa yung pasintabi ko sa ibang HR professionals dyan. Pero minsan feeling ko, kapag internal HR ka, favorite talaga ang trainer. Favorite ang training. Kasi usually si training, siya yung lalapit sa'yo kasi meron siyang kailangan sa'yo or kakamustahin ka lang, mga ganyan. Usually kasi kapag si Compen, si employee ang may kailangan dyan. Diba? Kailangan niyang magma-maternity leave siya, kailangan niyang paayos yung SSS, mga ganyan. So that's the thing with being an L&D, no? That's what I love than being an L&D. And yun nga, I think those are the strategies that I have. So as I said, first start onboarding before the first day. It should be collaborative, not just inside the HR department, but with other departments as well, what are the transactions and all of that. And then it should be emotional rather than rational, no? You should put the human in HR, no? You be the human and human resources in dealing with the onboarding process of this person, no? Check if culture check mo sila, attendance check mo sila, if they're experiencing, if they're in good terms with their colleagues, ayan, no? And also, I just want to add, with being collaborative, you have to let their team players and their managers know that they'll be starting on this day. Minsan kasi ako I've experienced, na darating ka na on the first day and your manager doesn't know that you're coming on the first day. So yung mga ganyan, diba? You have to let the team know because they will help this employee on board on their first day. And as I said, it shouldn't be too complex and it should be sustainable at all times. And lastly, you should maintain the momentum. So kung on the first day, dun sa orientation pa lang, mataas na yung energy mo, very good ka na with the formal orientation and all of that. Dapat, even when you check on them, even when you get feedback from them 6 months later, you maintain this energy that you had. Yeah, so those are the strategies that I have.
Yeah, and I specifically love the term na put the human in human resources
Mm-hmm.
na make it emotional. Kasi nga naman, yes, primarily we do go into jobs because we need the money. No, we need you need financial support to live. But at the same time, kasi one of the driving factors for an employee to keep it, to stay rather in a company is yung feeling of working there. It doesn't become a burden. It doesn't become for compliance sake, but genuinely they look forward. If not look forward, but genuinely they're happy with where they are and the environment of their work. So ayun nga, I think that's a good idea na let them know who we are as a company, as someone who's presenting the company to a new employee. Let them know who we are, what we do here to keep things fun or to keep things fresh. And at least, yung employee, hindi na mabibigla na, okay, they have this, they have that. I think I might enjoy this, I think I might enjoy that. And I think it's also a good way for sometimes to discover new things. I don't know if that would work. Maybe we can ask the new employees, what do you think about it? Is there something you're looking forward? Things like that. Siguro, dyan pumapasok yung mga questions na yan eh. Like, okay, now that you've seen our company, what do you think? What are you looking forward to? And I think that will help.
Areas for improvement, dyan talaga natin makukuha.
I think it will also help out in, developing the company's culture along the way as well. Ayan. Well, we've talked about the strategies. Now let's go with the do's and don'ts naman. I don't know how many there are, but siguro let's start with the do's muna. Ayan.
So what siguro yun nga, yung mga kanina, sinabi ko, do start the onboarding even before the employee starts, no? Then do have a schedule prepared. As I said, if you can create a paper for them where they can see this is the schedule that you'll be following. Of course, you don't have to be too strict with the schedule because, as I said, put the emotions in there, no? Make us streamline the process, and then do familiarize new employees with the services that you offer, diba? Even if you are in say for example for us, Evan, diba, here at the Ecological Group, we know the process of other departments, but we're in training, but we do understand the process for recruitment, mga yon, diba? It's important that we know the products or the services that we offer, and then of course do set up regular check-ins on the employee. We have to, as I said kanina, we have to check feedback, but you have to set a date, no? Because setting a date makes it intentional, no? Hindi yung bigla nakita mo lang sa corridor. Syempre maganda yung mga ganon, yung mga kamustahan, makita mo, sa canteen, magkasabay kayo, kamustahin, how are you, how are you doing, how's your boss, mga ganyan. But of course, we have to set schedules na talagang pupunta siya sa office mo or pupuntahan mo siya sa office niya, and then you talk about it, like check on them. And then do extend short-term goals to yearly milestones. Kasi on the onboarding process, this is the part where we get to know the new hires. No? When we ask them ano ba yung mga goals nila. But of course, when we check on them, we ask what's their milestones now, what their yearly milestones. Ano ba yung gusto mong ma-achieve with the organization? So this is, as I said, onboarding talaga is really long. Diba? Kung makikita mo, Kevin, hindi siya yung 2-day orientation that some L&D professionals, not L&D, no, some non-L&D professionals would think of, no. This is the time talaga, this is crucial. And then do make sure din pala to let the new hires understand the culture of the company. As I said, paulit-ulit, this is make or break. So you have to understand that if it doesn't really align with the employee, then what strategies can we do to make them understand that this is the culture, or what strategies para malaman din natin yung areas for improvement. And I think that would be all for all the do's. Now for the don'ts, yon kanina sabi ko, don't make this a two-day Mio lang, no? Don't make it yung parang, okay, first day, you'll know this, and then tomorrow, ito yon. But let's make it a process. Let's make it a long-term goal for the employee. And then don't consider the onboarding process an HR event. As I said, if you can involve all the people in the company, kasi ang welcoming, di ba? Ang hospitable. Parang pag sa bahay nyo lang yan. Kapag Iba
Pinakilala
yung
ka.
'di ba? Iba yung alam nila, ikaw kilala ka nila agad, no? When I came to my first organization before, unang dating ko pa lang, kilala na ako ng mga tao, and I was surprised to see that they already know that I'm the new training officer here, mga ganyan. They already know kasi pala I was introduced na to their company meetings, mga ganyan. And also pala, I just like to share for some, no? Usually kasi ang new employee orientation, marami ng new hires dyan. Minsan hindi lang isa, di ba? Minsan sinasabay-sabay yung new employee orientation. So what our HR heads would do, or department heads would do before is they will take some time, probably 5 minutes of their time, and pupunta sila sa orientation area or sa training room. Tapos magpapakilala sila, hi, I'm the head of like this and that, mga ganyan. So, I think that adds, parang value adding yun, no? Imagine, HR head, no? Pumunta sa office para magpakilala. So, that's nice also. So, as I said, do make it not an HR event. Don't make it an HR event. Make it collaborative, involve as much people as you can, and make sure that the team members, the managers, the HR heads would know that there are new employees coming. And then don't forget to ask for feedback. And yeah, I think also pala, don't confuse onboarding with orientation. No,
Ayun.
don't confuse onboarding with orientation. So if there is anything that I want our viewers to know or to pick up from our discussion this afternoon, it's really that. No? Don't confuse onboarding with orientation, because orientation is just a 1 day or 2 day thing, but the onboarding is a whole process of acquainting the employee with the culture of new organization.
All right, there you go. And I guess this will be my last question for today's topic. Well, let's talk about now the skills that are helpful, if not needed, for an L&D to conduct or to prepare an onboarding program.
Okay. So, skills, no, needed. Siguro first things first, documentation. Kailangan ng documentation, no? Kailangan ng documentation. Dapat marunong tayo mag-organize ng mga documents, and we take photos, diba? We prepare the documents beforehand. We make a checklist. Ready na ba yung ganito, ganyan, no? Documentation, it adds pagiging organized also. No, we add there, no, kumbaga yung checklist, mga yan, we can check on that. And then another thing is customer service. When you are an internal HR, who are your clients? It's the employees, di ba? Kung nasa sales ka, ang clients mo is mga clients or customer talaga. But in HR, our customers or our clients are the employees. So, pag may bagong employee, yun yung bago nating hire. No? Yun yung bago nating hire. So, bago nating hire or bago nating client. So, customer service is important. Siyempre, we have to maintain or start na the relationship with the employee as early as their first day or even before that. And then, innovation also is very important in onboarding process kasi what may be good now, no? Actually, in training
Not
in
apply.
general.
Oo.
Training in general, diba?
Actually,
Training in
you have
general.
to keep things or you have to spice things up every now and then, sabi nga
Yes,
nila.
that's true. So it does not apply lang in L&D as a whole, but on onboarding as well. Kasi just to add siguro in our topic for today, the difference of onboarding pre-pandemic and versus now, no? I feel like a lot of organizations then tweak a bit on their process. Kasi before, if everything was a face-to-face formal orientation, there were some things na ginawang self-paced, say for example yung ibang aspects ng company, but yung iba is in a self-paced, or yung iba yun nga, dahil hindi pwede yung face-to-face, virtual na lang yung pag-meet with every department, mga ganyan. So, kung dati merong poster na malaki na may mukha mo, ngayon company email na lang, yung mga ganon. So, there are also things that is very important na nag-change talaga due to the pandemic. So, innovation is very important. And then, as a trainer, no, you have to know your product, you have to know your company. No? So, ano ba yung binibenta nyo? Ano ba yung business ninyo? And then you have to know the company, the vision, mission, values. Naalala ko kapag naglalakad ako before sa ano. Kasi we do audits eh. We do audits.
I see.
We check, do you know
Check
the
ka.
mission, value? So minsan, pag dadaan ka,
Ay, surprise ba yun?
employee, sasabihin nila, to be the ganito, ganyan, the company, to be the leading sort of a management, mga ganyan, diba? So, it's important that you know the company well, you know the culture of the company, because for an L&D professional to onboard employees, you have to be the first one to know pati actually yung mga payroll, ano ba, kung kailan yung sahod, ano yung cut-off, no, kailangan, as an L&D professional, kailangan alam mo lahat yan. No, kasi ikaw ang unang tatanungin eh. Ikaw ang unang haharap sa kanila. I mean, of course, you have the HR team with you, but it's also important that as an L&D professional that will be doing the onboarding process, you have to know these things, no? And then, kanina nga, sabi ko, you have to maintain the momentum. So, consistency, no, is also important, no? Consistent. You have to be consistent, not just on the first day, not just on the pre-boarding. Even after 6 months, 12 months of check-in with them, you have to be consistent. You have to maintain the same energy, and then you have to maintain the same relationship you had with the employee. But of course, when we say relationship, hindi personal relationship.
Oo, iba yan.
Ayan. And of course, lastly, collaboration. No? Paulit-ulit ko siyang sinasabi kasi minsan yung mga empleyado feeling nila it's just an HR thing. Eh, diba? So we have to involve everyone. We have to let everyone be ready when a new hire is coming. When a new hire is coming, you have to be ready on your team. Like, what are the things? Nice, ba yung table niya, yung mga ganyan. Or you have to visit our office at this day because it's their time to onboard with you. So, mga yon. So for skills, yun nga, collaboration, documentation, customer service, innovation, no? Knowing the company, and yun, consistency.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing those, Miss May. Now, I think no, sa mga nanonood or to our watchers right now, I hope you were able to help out with your misconceptions or questions about L&D onboarding. Well, if you have some good experiences or funny stories or maybe inspiring stories about onboarding on your end, kindly comment it down below. And thank you so much again, Miss May, for sharing some of the things that you picked up doing onboarding with different companies. And I hope things will get better na nga with this. Actually, we're going back to another era. I don't know what we're going to call it. Post-pandemic era ba? Kasi
normal.
Post-new normal. So I think ayan, another thing to look out for sa mga companies is revamping their onboarding process now that things are going back to the old normal. I don't know how to
the old normal,
the old normal post-pandemic. But yeah, I think our watchers gets what I mean. But anyways, ayan, I think you have something to share as well to our viewers.
Yeah. So first and foremost, will you be sharing about poster?
Yes, wait lang. Na-delay yung slides. That's my fault. Wait lang.
Siguro just wanna thank you again for having me, Kevin, and to our viewers, I'm very, very much looking forward to how they do their onboarding as well, no? And I'm very much open to learning then their processes or how they streamline theirs, no?
Okay. Mukhang nahihirapan tayo sa ating sharing. But ayaw lumitaw.
Diba? Yan. That's part of the new normal.
Technology. When you need it. Ayan. Sabi nga ng aking training partner na si Mr. June Delfonso. Sir June, if you're watching, hello, kamusta? There you go. Ayan.
Ayan. Thank you for showing our poster for the Certified Recruitment and Selection Professional Cohort 5. So this program is open to tenured recruiters, to a newbie in the recruitment. Ayan. So if you're interested in becoming an internationally accredited Certified Recruitment and Selection Professional, you can also tap with International HR Institute. So just for everyone's knowledge, the Certified Recruitment and Selection Professional is accredited by SHRM, HRCI, and ATD. This is a franchise from the Cambridge Academy of Professional and Board. And ayan po, we still have a few seats for CRSP cohort 5. No, if you want to avail our early joiner rate, we still have discounts are up for grabs. So yeah, no. For CRSP, no, you can obtain a lifetime certification. You will attend the 2-day training program just like with CLDP, and you can collaborate on relevant business cases and of course hone your skills in interviewing or onboarding as well, because onboarding is one of the topics also in CRSP, because as I said, onboarding is a collaboration between recruitment and training also. So if you want to know more about that, you can attend the CRSP cohort 5. Ayan po. If you want to connect with me, you can always connect with me via LinkedIn. It's at Rosette Esmeralda Musni. Or you can tap on Kevin if you want to know more about my details by email and all of that. So again, thank you so much, Kevin, for today.
Yeah, and also we are running a program to our graduates. If you are a graduate of the CLDP certification program, you actually have a special
Yes,
CLDP rate
correct.
sa
Yes,
ating partner programs, which is
yes, yes,
Certified
that's right.
Recruitment and Selection
Mhm.
Professional. Ayan. So, sa ating mga CLDP graduates, if you're looking into expanding your repertoire in the HR
Mhm.
industry, ayan, CRSP is a good way to start as well.
Mhm.
Just contact us for the discount rate. Ayan, syempre.
And just to add, no, apart from the 7,000 discount that they have now, if they join with the CLDP designation, it's another discount pa. So on top of that
Yun.
pa yung
On top of that pa, ayan. Ganyan namin kayo kamahal. Sabi nga nila. Well, anyways, yeah, thank you so much for
Thank you so
joining
much,
us in
Kevin.
the show. May hopefully we can find another topic for us to discuss here. But in the meantime, take care, keep safe always, and bye for now. Well, that was Miss Rosette Esmeralda Musni or May. Onboarding is something that one of the things that an employee will experience first. Actually, it is one of the first things that they will experience, no? And ika nga ng ating guest kanina, first impressions do last. And if we do not present our companies in a way that we want them to perceive it, no? If we cannot highlight the good things about the companies, sometimes it might affect how a newcomer does his or her job, or maybe the inspiration that they have, no, working with the company, or the reason why they worked in the company in the first place. So yeah, I guess, no, checking out our onboarding process isn't a bad thing, no. Look at it every once in a while, check if we're still, you know, showing what we do in the company and what we are and who we are in the company. All right, well, tune to us next time for another topic that we are going to talk about here at the Trainers Lounge, the show where we talk about anything and everything about L&D. Again, this is Kevin, and see you on the next one. Bye for now.